Hey guys, it's Destiny back with another video, and you're watching the Decimania channel on YouTube. And today we got my last Royal Rumble, past Royal Rumble pay-per-view review today. And then next Sunday, of course, we will be coming up and reviewing Royal Rumble 2024. But today we're going back 20 years. And we're going to review Royal Rumble 2004. A bit of a controversial one because of who wins it, but it was still a fun pay-per-view. Still a fun show. And we're going to talk about the show. It was fine in terms of, match quality. It was good. Wish they would have given some guys more time. But we'll talk about that in a second. We had 6 matches on this card. Before we get into this Royal Rumble review, please do me a favor if you haven't already. I'm 6 subscribers away from 40. Let's hit that by the end of the month, maybe. Or by the end of February. Okay, end of February goal is 40 subscribers. So, if you could make that happen, I would greatly appreciate it. And please hit that subscribe button. If you're new here, hit that notification bell, hit that like button. Comment down below, all that great stuff. And it is time for Royal Rumble 2004 pay-per-view review. Brought to you by Decimania. Alright, so we'll kick the show off with the Dudleys versus Ric Flair and Batista. And Jonathan Coachman had to get involved in the match, so that happened. They were in Philadelphia. They were in Philadelphia for this. So they were in Philly. Let's just say that. And so you thought the Dudleys might win because it's ECW territory, but they didn't. Sorry, I spoiled that. We had a backstage segment with Rob Van Dam and John Cena, which is pretty cool. See, I like that one line about Rob Van Dam that Cena said, and he was like, something about meeting up with Mary Jane or something. I don't remember what he said. He said something to the effect of that. And said he was going to win the Royal Rumble. And Van Dam's just like, alright, cool. And I like Rob Van Dam and John Cena. I was hard on Cena for a couple years there, but come on. It's fine. We're all Cena fans here. Well, at least some of you might be. I don't know. I mean, if you're not, it's fine too. He's not my favorite wrestler, but I like John Cena. Certainly wasn't my favorite as a kid. My favorite as a kid was Edge and CM Punk and all them. And Jeff Hardy. Oh yeah, we're going to be talking about Jeff Hardy a little bit on Wednesday. So stay tuned for that. It's nothing bad. Don't worry, nothing bad. He didn't do anything, but it might be teasing a heel turn, but we'll talk more about that on Wednesday. But first of all, I do gotta say also we will be covering. I'm gonna wait till Wednesday and see what they do on Raw, because Seth Rollins has been injured. So we'll talk about that. I'm gonna save that for Monday or Wednesday because of, I want to see what they do on Raw before I speculate too much on what they could do. And this is not good. Let's just say that. Then we had Jamie Noble and Rey Mysterio for the Cruiserweight Championship. And they were doing this storyline back then with Jamie Noble and Nydia, where Tajiri had, I guess, blinded Nydia. Nydia is, I believe, Jamie Noble's real life wife. I think they're still married. I don't know. But He's from my neck of the woods. He's from West Virginia. That's kind of cool. But they were doing this thing where I guess Tajiri had blinded Nydia, and Jamie was kind of bringing her out there to the ring and stuff like that, and like she would try to help him in matches, and she would accidentally cost him matches, and he would be like, why did you do that? And it's like, I like Jamie Noble. I like the character of Jamie Noble. I just wish he would have gotten a little bit more than cruiserweight status, you know? I think he's a producer now with WWE. He had his last match. I don't know if I think it was his last match. Yeah, it was. His last match was against Seth Rollins. It wasn't televised or anything, but I think he had a hiatus there. He was doing the J&J security stuff with Seth, but before that, he had his last match with Sheamus on Raw, but they had Eddie versus Chavo Guerrero. This was a great match, and I wish they would have given these guys a little bit more time. But then again, for what the time they gave us, it was good. It was great. You know, Eddie had just been turned on by Chavo. He'd been double-crossed, and Eddie's brother, Chavo's dad, Chavo Sr., came in and, you know, was like, I'm sorry, he shouldn't have done that, and then it was all set up, and they started attacking him. So it was a good match. I like the Guerreros. Then we had Hardcore Holly versus Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship. It was fine. Brock won. I think they got like 8 minutes. Maybe this was the match that got 8 minutes. I don't remember. I think it was. We had a segment with Benoit and Flair in the back. Ric Flair and Chris Benoit. And Flair kind of basically was just like, you're not going to win the Royal Rumble. Randy Orton is. Spoiler alert, he didn't. For those of you that watch this, you already know what happened. Excuse me. But that happened. Then we had Triple H versus Shawn Michaels for the World Heavyweight Championship. That's my favorite belt ever. Besides, I haven't seen any of them in hand yet. Like, I don't have a replica or anything of them in hand. But I've heard that the new TNA belts are freaking beautiful. But my favorite design will always be the big gold World Championship that Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair and all them held. Benoit. You know, that'll always be my favorite belt design. The Oval Intercontinental is a close second. But it's good that they at least kind of brought that back. And they're honoring the past a little bit with that one. They need to do that with the other ones. Come on, Triple H. Come on. Maybe Cody will get a new belt. But then again, they just gave Roman the new belt. I don't freaking know. Hopefully Cody maybe does something if and when he wins it. Or when he wins it. Then we had... This is so weird how they set this up. I wish they would have done the backstage segment first. So Goldberg and Brock Lesnar had a segment. I'm just talking about this first. And, you know, he had to stare down with Brock Lesnar because Brock interrupted him. Goldberg was the 30th entrant in the Royal Rumble. And Goldberg and Lesnar kind of teased their match. That wouldn't be the last time they would see each other. Tonight. Or that night. So then we get promos from Eric Bischoff and Paul Heyman basically saying, my brand's gonna win, blah, 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 blah. Stone Cold came out and he was like, you're wasting everybody's time, I'm gonna give you all Stunner. And he gives, and he's like, you started it. And then Bischoff and Heyman are freaking bickering back and forth. I started it. No, he started it. He started it. Whatever. And Steve Austin gets in the ring and gives them both a stunner. It's always fun to see Steve give a stunner to somebody. It is. That'll never get old. Like, Stone Cold could probably be in his freaking 80s and come out there and give someone a stunner. Or whatever. And it would still be just fun. He doesn't wrestle anymore part-time. He just makes the appearance, and that's fine. But then it was time for the Royal Rumble match itself. A couple of key things that happened in this match. Kane, he eliminated Spike Dudley after he thought that Spike Dudley was the one that set off the gong for the Undertaker's music, because Kane came out and started dominating, and Undertaker's gong hit because they were airing vignettes for him to come back at WrestleMania 20 as the Dead Man character. That's where he would get the latest version of his Death March or Funeral March theme, which is honestly my favorite version. Because, I mean, I'm biased towards it. I grew up with it. And I like the first one too. It sounds like it was made in an old... Like, the quality of it sounds really cool, because it sounds like it was made in an old church or, like, movie or something. I don't know how to describe that. Just go back and listen to it. But some of the key people in this match were Mick Foley, Chris Benoit, obviously, who won it, Randy Orton, The Big Show, Kurt Angle, John Cena, Rob Van Dam, Shelton Benjamin. Did I already say Kurt Angle? Kurt was in it. Charlie Haas was in it. Both members of Team Angle. Oh, all of them were in there, really. Goldberg. Matt Hardy. Overall, this is a very good Royal Rumble match, and I enjoyed it. Chris Jericho and Christian were both in it, and that would start up their rivalry also. So, you had a good field in this. I wish Eddie and Chavo could have been in it, but back then they didn't really like people doing double duty. I think the first time somebody did it was 2022. I think when Brock did it, right? Am I right about that? No. Wait. No, that was at WrestleMania. Brett did double duty at WrestleMania 10, right? But I have some WrestleManias planned. I'm going to add WrestleMania 3 to our reviews because that was such a significant moment. But anyway, Benoit won by eliminating the Big Show. And it's controversial. I get it. Some people might not be able to go back and watch that. I certainly have my moments watching that. I don't get mad. Really, I just it's just awkward going back and watching that stuff because I was a big Chris Benoit fan. Okay, you know what? It's not fair for me to say that because even though I am a fan of Benoit's work, I didn't grow up actually watching him because you gotta think, I started watching wrestling when I was 8, and this was in 2008, so this happened a year before I started getting into it, so I can't really say that I grew up a fan of Benoit. Like I can say others. I didn't grow up a fan of Eddie Guerrero. Like I did, but okay, I'm trying to explain this in a way that makes sense. I grew up and loved watching their stuff back after they had passed. and I became a fan of their work after they died. That makes more sense. Sorry. No, I more grew up a fan of Rey Mysterio, of John Cena, Triple H, Jeff Hardy, Edge, not Jericho until later, not Punk until... I don't think I liked Punk until it was either the end of the Straight Edge Society or it was a few weeks after the pipe bomb. I think it might have been the night of the pipe bomb promo. Or that promo in Vegas. But I eventually became a big CM Punk fan and have been for years now. Obviously the TNA stuff, but you get my point. Benoit, he's one of those names that you respect. Like, those that were fans of him or that like his work respect him for his in-ring work and stuff like that. But you're going to always have those people. And, you know, if you're one of them, I'm not going to fault you. That are going to be like, oh, well, he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. Or not even that, but like, I'm not going to hold it against you if you disagree with my statements that I make about him. Yes, he should be in the Hall of Fame for his work, but it'll never happen. And people thinking that it still will happen, guys, I'm sorry, but it's just not. You know, all that stuff happened. It's all on the network if you want to go back and watch it, but they will never bring him up again. Pat McAfee slipped up that one time and said Rabid Wolverine, but that wasn't a direct... I don't think it was a direct message to Chris Benoit, but certain aspects of his work, because Rabid Wolverine was his nickname, one of his nicknames. You know. Punk mentioning after he left WWE, but that was after he left. But you get the point, you know, people can't really mention him without, you know, thinking of that weekend. And it's hard to not think about that weekend. I'm proud of Undertaker because he was able to mention Benoit without even saying a word about it. Because Undertaker has a channel. I don't think it's a podcast, but it's a thing where he just gets on and tells stories from his wrestling career. They're like little 5-minute stories or whatever. But it's called, if you want to go check it out, it's called 6 Feet Under with Mark Calloway, which is his real name. And it's a really good podcast. I've seen it. Or story channel, whatever you want to call it. But, you know, Benoit won this Royal Rumble. It's personally my favorite Royal Rumble match. I know, I get it. I always go for the controversial people. But, whatever. It's just me. Don't judge. Look, I grew up watching Ric Flair, too. Okay, I saw his last match, but you know what I mean. I grew up hearing about Ric Flair and Stone Cold, Steve Austin, and all them. But, I digress. It was a fun Royal Rumble. I think Stone Cold came out at the end and gave Benoit a beer or something like that. But it was a good Royal Rumble, a forgotten one at the least. Still fun to go back and watch. It won't be on YouTube anytime soon or anything. It never will be unless somebody uploads it from another channel. But if you want to go watch it, go get the Royal Rumble 2004 DVD or watch it on the network. It's there. It's probably on Daily Motion. But it's fun Royal Rumble, and it's one of my personal favorites. And despite what anyone thinks of what happened with the Benoit tragedy, you can't deny that he was one of the most influential and best technical wrestlers out there. Not the greatest on promos, but he didn't need to be. He backed it up in the ring. But that's going to do it for my Royal Rumble reviews. Unless there's one more you guys want me to do. Like, if you really want me to do another one, you know, if enough people suggest it in the next few days, and I might do another one. But I think I'm just gonna focus on next Saturday's Royal Rumble. Predictions will be going up on Friday. And as always, the review will be after the show the next day. And I'll see y'all, I don't know, maybe Monday or Tuesday. I might do something. If we don't get any more news about Seth, I'll do Hulk Hogan maybe, but I think on Tuesday I'm going to come up and do a video on Hulk Hogan. Isn't that the anniversary of it? Like, isn't it the 23rd or 24th? Let me know in the comments, because I've heard both. But that's probably what we're doing on Tuesday. I think Sunday and Monday, I'm possibly going to be off, not doing anything. Tuesday, we'll come up and talk about Hulk Hogan. Wednesday, we'll do Wrestle World Wednesday. Thursday will be TNA. Friday will be Royal Rumble predictions. And Saturday, maybe I might do something. Maybe a DVD review. I don't know. I might set it to premiere. I might set the predictions to premiere the day of Royal Rumble. I don't know. But then Sunday will be Royal Rumble reviews. So you'll see me almost every day of the week next week. Sorry I rambled on for a little bit, but I just had to get those points out there. But if you want to watch this Royal Rumble, if you can handle it, feel free to. You know, I would hope that some of us are level-headed and can talk about this situation without, jumping down each other's throats or anything like that. Just don't be negative to each other, guys. Really. If I do have to call somebody out, at least I don't call them names or do anything like that. I try to come up here and be as reasonable as possible without, shaming anybody or doing anything to that degree. So anything wrestling related or anything that you guys might disagree with in the comments or just online in general, especially Twitter because it's bad. That's why I don't tweet much. But, don't do this to each other. We're human beings. Don't tear each other down, guys. Don't do that. It's not good. But I'll see y'all. I don't know. Might do a DVD review or something. I might start my WrestleMania ones. Although, I might just start those in March. So, I know what I'm doing on March 14th. I'm doing WrestleMania 20. But, I'll see y'all later. And stay safe. Be good to each other. And please consider subscribing to the channel if you would not mind. And leave a comment down below. I'm just going to warn you though, any negative comment, like any outwardly negative comments towards, negative comments that are meant to tear people down should be deleted. So if I see any comments like that, I will be deleting them. I'm just going to let you know that. So, alright. I'll stop preaching. Y'all have a good night. And have a good rest of your weekend. Stay warm. I know it's probably cold around these parts. So, I'll see y'all later. Peace.